Hey there. This week we're going to talk about sitting with the instrument or placing the instrument where you need it to be. With electric guitar, I kind of like having it here. When I stand up with the guitar, which I'll stand up and have my head chopped off here, when I'm playing, all right, this is actually going to put the instrument, gravity and the strap is going to place the instrument kind of centered on my body like this. I kind of like this because the first thing is that we have this angle right here, and that angle allows me to pick straight up and down with the pick, and we've got kind of a 45-degree angle on the string, so it makes it a little bit easier to pass the pick through. The next thing, we'll come down here, is that it puts the strings at that angle for my fingertips. If I hold my hands up like this, your fingers kind of naturally fall off at an angle. If we've got the guitar like this, you're kind of tilting the hand, which is a little bit less comfortable, to me at least. Keep in mind, with all of these technique things, these are the things that I've found that work best for my own playing, and I try and teach them to my students because it gives them a really good starting point, and then they kind of have to work it for their style and the instrument they play and their physical size and all that other stuff. All right? But the reality is that this seems to work pretty good for the majority of the people that I teach. Now, if you notice, when I sit down, the guitar is still in the same place. All right, I get my angle right here for the right hand. All right, and I get that angle for my hand right here. It's almost like I'm playing. Oops, it's almost like I'm playing classical guitar. Where normally with classical guitar you'd have a footstool, all right, and you'd be propping the instrument up, and you'd actually have this sort of thing going on. You don't see someone play classical guitar like this. Now, when we strum, you see a lot of strummy players playing this way. You see a lot of people without a strap. It's just easier to do it. But if you notice, when I went from playing like this to playing like this, suddenly, the top part of my body shifted around. I have to pick at a different angle with my picking hand. My left hand's not so hard. It tilts under like this a little bit. And the thing that most of my students run into is if they start off like this and then they go to stand up to play in a jam or in a band or any other situation where they're standing with the instrument, the way they've been practicing isn't consistent with the way they're actually going to play the instrument. All right, if we actually keep our practice position consistent with your playing position, you have a better chance of it not being a complete train wreck when you actually go out and play. Right. So for me, this is the best thing. I try and find it where the strap holds the instrument without it, having to be supported by my body. I try and sit upright. I'm guilty of doing this all the time. It's one of the worst things. For any number of reasons. I get students where they practice at home, sitting in front of the TV on the couch, doing this. It makes everything real difficult. If you just let the instrument go where gravity's going to put it, it's actually, I think it's going to make it easier for your hands to work on the instrument. But you want to practice like you're going to play. You don't want to practice the instrument one way and then get up to perform and do it some other way. For me, we've got that reason. I also think that having the instrument like this, at least for me, for myself, it's uncomfortable because the top part of my body shifting. So I'm off center, which isn't healthy for your back. But then also pulls this hand around, and everything just has to physically address the instrument differently. All right. So that's kind of the major thing for me with sitting with the instrument.